Oh, brother. Oh, brother. We are back once again, guys. Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Hear me out. This is the Hear Me Out Interisti game for Inter. They need to tell us and show us that what we saw, that embarrassment we saw against Fiorentina a few days ago, was just a blip, a massive blip, an embarrassing blip, but it was just a blip. And that this title race, yes, mathematically it's not over, but also in practice that it's not over. Tonight, of course, Napoli play Udinese at home. Forza Udinese, all that stuff. Forza Alexis Sanchez, Lorenzo Luca, Tovan. Same like Roma, we have zero expectation. I have zero expectation from this Udinese team to actually help us, but Roma ended up helping us. But I'm still predicting that Napoli will get the 3 points. So it means that Inter tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. UK time kickoff at home this time to Fiorentina again. Need to win. There is a feeling in the air, very resignation, a lot of resignation in the air from a lot of Interisti I'm seeing, and I don't blame you guys because what we saw against Fiorentina away was embarrassing. It was not someone that is deserving of a scudetto, holding a scudetto, winning a scudetto again back to back. But again, there's 45 points on the line. You cannot call the end of the Scudetto race right now. What we can say definitely is that this team hasn't shown us yet that they're ready to win the Scudetto again, and that's what I want tomorrow, guys. I'm not confident going into this game. I'll do my prediction now, actually, before we get into the predicted lineups. I think we'll see some reaction. We'll be kind of, see some positives, some highlights. But I'm going to predict a draw again tomorrow because I want this team to prove me wrong. And, I'm still hopeful. I will still continue going because, again, we are better than this Napoli team. I think we do play better football than Napoli. Our squad is better than Napoli's. It's just these multiple competitions, and our coach likes to play the multiple competitions as far as he can rather than managing energies, trying to manage the competitions. It is what it is, but I'm keeping hopeful. I just want to see a reaction tomorrow. And this is, according to Sky Sport, the team tomorrow that will take the field. Bisek out. He was maybe the most disappointing, the biggest flop of that Fiorentina game. He was really bad in that Fiorentina game. Benji Pavard comes back in. Seems to have returned to form since his injury, so hopefully he continues that. Acerbi, he didn't see any minutes against Fiorentina away. That's still concerning. I didn't want him to start the last game because he's had 0 minutes. So I don't really want him to start this game because he still has 0 minutes. He's had more training, but it doesn't mean he's more match fit, really. But De Vrij does need a rest, and Moise Kean on the form that he's in, he is a handful at the moment. So maybe Acerbi and De Vrij can try to tag team him, 50, 60 minutes for Acerbi, 30, 40 minutes for De Vrij. But hopefully, if he is going to start, he is ready, because he needs to be ready against this Moise Kean. Bastoni, of course, and then Sky Sport at the moment, I'm guessing they will update this because there's been different reports, but at the moment it has Di Marco starting, but that is a 50-50 because he was already struggling with the flu. We saw how bad he was. Di Marco, another big flop from that Fiorentina, who wasn't actually, but Di Marco was really bad when he came on, of course, gifted that goal to Moise Kean. Still struggling with flu apparently yesterday, didn't take part in training. So again, is he actually fit to start this game? Because we need proper, like, if you're not like 100% in this game or 90%, I don't want people to start. I want us to really go at Fiorentina, show them that game at the Artemio Franchi, that was not the real Inter. I wanted to show the real Inter. I want to get the bulldozer out like we've been doing a lot of times this season when we bounce back. I want to see that. So if Di Marco's not ready, put in Carlos Augusto or Zalewski. Why not Zalewski? Create the Polish connection on that left-hand side of the field with Zielinski. Gazzetta actually has Zalewski starting on here, but they have Mkhitaryan starting. I definitely would rather have Zielinski. Mkhitaryan needs a rest, and he hasn't been good recently. I definitely would prefer to see Zaleski starting, especially if DiMarco's not fully fit. Hakan continues. Hopefully, Hakan is getting his feet under him, because we have seen this guy has been almost, if not more damaging than a not ready Aslani at the moment. Um, it's been that bad. It's been that bad that we are all kind of thinking like, should he really start? Maybe we should, not start him at the moment. But again, this is the same as we know. This is what was happening with Lautaro, guys, at the beginning of the season. When someone is out of form, out of shape, it sounds counterintuitive sometimes, especially when someone is you're the best. We could say Hakan is the best in his position, especially in Serie A, world class. You want them to continue playing back into form, and we saw finally happen that with Lautaro this year, 2025. I don't know how long it's going to take for Hakan, but we just gotta keep playing him now, get him back into fitness, and get back to his levels. Same for Barella, who also had a very bad substitute appearance. These leaders of this team, I really want to see some stepping up from these guys. The guys that we call world class, we call them the best players in their positions. These are the guys that I want to step up and take us to the next level. Because I've been saying all season, I know a lot of guys like to pick on the Aslanis and the backups, Taremi, Arnautovic's, but at the end of the day, most of the underperformances for me have been coming from our main players. Dumfries has a suspension, so he's not playing. Matty Darms returned to that right wing back position where most of us don't like him in. I don't like him there, but a lot of the times Matty Darms scores or has a big performance as a right wing back, just as we doubt him. He has shut us up many times. Not that he's ever convinced me that he should continue play as a right wing back, but usually just for that performance, he'll be like, I'm the guy. Up front, because of the lack of production and reliability from the likes of Taremi, Arnautovic, and Correa, continue to keep being injured. Thuram and Lautaro have to continue. Thuram, now you can see some of the fatigue starting to hit him. I think he's been playing almost non-stop. He was carrying the team on his back for the first half of the season, and now he doesn't. I mean, against Monaco, he was like completely on fire, but then against Fiorentina, it's like the flame has completely burnt out. The whole team just looked really tired. So I don't know if there should be some rotation based on that. Maybe Inzaghi could make some big calls here in terms of such bad performances from some of the starters that he could make a big, big statement. But again, does he really have an option? Do we really trust Taremi and Nautovic to step in? Not really. Not really. So we have to trust in Capitano and Thuram. The injury list finally is starting to clear up. Only injured apparently at the moment is Di Gennaro. Correa's finally returned to training. Apparently might be on the bench, but not ready for this game. Now we just got to hope, cross our fingers, that we don't have big injury issues coming into the key time. This is the key time now. This is the thing, guys. It has been a bad start to 2025. The points drop against Bologna, the Supercoppa loss, the Fiorentina loss. But actually, the situation is that the key crucial moments are coming now. If Inter had their, we are winter depression that often Inter seems to have, if this was the period, now is actually the perfect time to come out of it. This is the perfect time to bounce back, because this is when the big teams start to perform. This is when you win or lose titles. End of February, March is when the real games start. The knockouts of competitions like the Champions League, the crucial games in the scudetto races. This time last year, Juventus actually kept up with us up until match day 22-23. So pretty much around this time. The difference is we were the ones ahead. Here, Napoli are the ones ahead. The key is Inter need to stay there. You cannot tell me that you think Napoli are going to win 45 points out of 45 remainings. Yes, we have seen that. Like, I have talked about that as well. I'm not one of those crazy optimist guys. I've been saying for a while to guys on Twitter, I've watched Junior Messias, Salah Maker, Rade Krunic, Tatarusanu go on a crazy, end of season win streak. with Milan. I've seen here in Leicester, I've already watched, a team that was almost relegated the season before win the Premier League. Once those, last 7, 8, 9 games come, a team can go way above and beyond what their limits are and deliver a crazy title win. But before that, this Napoli team is not perfect. We've seen what they're like on the Conte. We've seen the same issues that we're moaning about Inzaghi. When things get stale, it's just that they have maybe some players that can create things out of nothing. We just don't. But we can do it. We can do it. It's just these guys need to wake the F up. Oak Tree, the management didn't help Inzaghi with the January window. Only Zalewski doesn't really move the needle too much. I can feel the energy around Inzaghi is the same as in the 22-23 season, the 12 losses season, when Inter fans are starting to, it's the same things. He is too soft. He's, our history is of commanders and strict type of coaches. He's not flexible enough, etc., etc. We need a disciplinarian in this team. Exactly the same stuff that also I was starting to say. Remember, after the 10th, 11th loss in the league, I also was like, I don't actually blame Inzaghi too much. It's just, it seems like these guys need a coach that kicks their asses because this is not working. Now I'm not on that. I'm not on that train at all, because now I know that the system that Inzaghi has created is too good for us to get rid of him, even if he doesn't deliver on the titles. That's something to reconsider and reevaluate in the summer. But let's back Inzaghi. Let's back the boys. Even at the stadium at the moment, last year, remember, we praised our fan base so much, but maybe it's easy when we're winning. At the moment, we're not really filling out the San Siro as much as we were last year. Again, the board, you see what Milan have done, the enthusiasm of what new transfer brings, or few nice big transfers bring, enthusiasm, people buying tickets, going to the stadium. Whereas Interisti, we're just going to watch the same guys over and over that we've been watching the last 2 years. I can feel the enthusiasm is kind of dwindling as well with the fans, but let's get back behind the boys. Let's have some faith and hope that my prediction of a draw tomorrow is wrong and they deliver. You guys let me know your prediction down below. Leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi, see you tomorrow for the post-match reaction. Forza Inter.